against weight. And the first one may surprise you: hypnosis. Now, I believe hypnosis can help control the demons causing you to overeat. Now it's being used differently than ever before to shrink your stomach. A brand new procedure has shown astounding results: the gastric hypnotic band. And it's never been seen or even talked about on TV until today. Meet the man responsible, Paul McKenna.
Meet Paul McKenna, world-renowned hypnotist. He's Great Britain's best-selling self-help author, an international TV sensation, and innovator behind the phenomenon, I Can Make You Thin.
Who here wants to lose weight?
I think I've made a significant breakthrough in the area of weight loss. Right now, I'm a man on a mission.
McKenna's hypnotic methods have astounded millions around the globe.
Who's had enough of dieting?
Believers flock to him to shed pounds, quit smoking, boost confidence, and overcome phobias.
The old-fashioned hypnotists often use a swinging watch, and they would have this sort of aura of power and tell people very directly what to do. Modern hypnotists tend to think of the mind as a bit like a computer. What we eat, how much we eat, take place in our mind. We can reprogram our mind just like a computer so that we eat less and we feel good about ourselves.
McKenna's latest revolution? Retraining your brain to believe you've undergone gastric banding surgery without actually going under the knife.
Close your eyes. Think about
it. Sounds outrageous, but can the gastric hypnotic band work for you?
Please welcome hypnotist Paul McKenna. Welcome to the show.
Great to see you, Dr. Oakley.
Welcome, my friend. Paul McKenna.
Thank you.
Well, I've been following you, doing all kinds of fun things, learning new things about hypnosis. How effective can it really be for weight loss? And give me an idea of how much people can lose.
Well, it depends on the person. You know, I don't think anything works for everybody every single time. But in the studies that I've done where I've worked with people, it's about 7 in 10 lose weight and are able to keep that weight off.
7 in 10?
Yes.
It's a big number.
It's a big number, and it's not everybody, but it's most people most of the time.
Yeah. You know, it's not uncommon that I'll hear people say hypnosis is a crock.
Yeah.
That it's just being done to get money off people who are gullible.
Yeah.
How do you respond to that?
Well, I say, you know, hypnosis has been studied for about 50 years now in universities, you know, eminent universities here, say in the United States, places like Stanford and Harvard. There are thousands of studies, and the studies show that hypnosis is very effective for changing behaviors, losing weight, quitting smoking, becoming confident, those sorts of things. And it's also very safe as well.
All right, so before the show, Paul randomly selected audience members interested in hypnosis. Paul, here's he talking to all of you, and you all look so comfortable up there. Several of you were actually hypnotized. You know who you were? They're all nervously sitting out there. So, Paul, please reveal them.
Well, I'd like you to look at me. So there's a lady further up here, a lady just wearing an orange jumper. Just look at me, and as you look at me, then just close your eyes and sleep. And just relax deeply down inside. There you go. Now, there's a lady there. That's it. Lady wearing a red jumper there. Just look at me, ma'am. Look at me. And as you look at me, concentrate, close your eyes, and just sleep. That's right. And there's a lady sitting here, that's it, a black and white top. And if you look at me, ma'am, and just close your eyes and then just sleep. And that's it, relax deeply down. Now, these people have relaxed into a wonderful trance. Let's do something that hypnotists use. It's an old convention, really, which is to show how the imagination affects our behavior. So what I'd like you to do is listen to my voice, and only my voice, and imagine there's a piece of string attached to your wrist on your right hand, and it's attached to a balloon that's filled with helium, which is lighter than air, so it's beginning to lift your hand up a little more and more. Let your hand float up into the air, and as you do, I want you to think about all the best things that have ever happened to you, and remember those happy, happy times, like you're back there again now. See what you saw, hear what you heard, and feel how good you felt. That's right, let those good feelings flood back, and in a moment I'm going to snip that string, and your hand's going to relax down, and as it does, you'll open your eyes, and you'll awaken feeling better than you've ever felt before. Now, snip and relax. There we go. Whew, come on back out.
Are you kidding me? That's amazing.
It looks kind of magical, but really it's a very simple scientific procedure. And I do it in a way where, you know, I want it to look dramatic.
Come over here. Can I ask them some questions?
Sure.
This is remarkable. Did anyone here think they were hypnotized? Nobody. Here, hi. What's your name?
Nancy.
Nancy.
Do you want me to stand?
If you don't mind, thank you, Nancy. Paul was just talking a few moments ago about people being hypnotized. Did that apply to you at all, you think?
I didn't think I was. I just was very relaxed, and it just felt like natural. I don't even know how to explain it.
Did you feel like you could control what you were doing?
No, just you're listening to his voice, and your body's just reacting because your mind is like somewhere good and comfortable in your good memories.
Were you aware that your eyes were closed and your hand was rising up towards the sky?
I was aware that my eyes were closed, and it just felt like, because he was telling me that the arm, you know, the balloon, it felt like something was lifting up my arm.
That's fabulous, Terry. Thank you. All right. Stand if you don't mind. What's your name?
Laura.
I'll begin. Just because I'm dumbfounded. Were you at all aware that your eyes were closed and you were following some English guy's commands to raise your arm?
I was aware. It was very relaxing, like she said, and my arm just started lifting. And when I came out of it, I was like, oh my God.
And why'd you close your eyes?
Told me to.
It's remarkable power. I mean, men crave that kind of power. Thank you. And who was the third person? You know that you were the third person? You
Yes.
do. So what were you feeling when that happened?
I just felt really relaxed, and my arm just kind of went up all by itself, and as soon as he snaps the string, it just falls.
So you all had very similar experiences. You weren't doing something you didn't want to do, but you're willing to do it even though people were looking at you, wondering what the heck was going on.
I wasn't aware that anyone was looking at me. I was in a totally relaxed state.
Well, you know, it's the profound power of hypnosis. And I got my first taste of this when I was in medical school. And there was a lecturer came, and we all thought it was a bunch of bunk, and he started actually hypnotizing us. And he did this experiment that I just saw, a similar version of it, and I began to, for the first time, realize the power of suggestion. So the power of hypnosis is what's allowed Paul to create this brand new procedure. It's called a gastric hypnotic band. You know how you have a gastric band to squeeze your stomach? So Paul's created the equivalent of that with hypnosis. So Paul, how can you, if you can, just begin to explain the procedure to us?
Well, as you say, it's not the actual real physical procedure where somebody, say you take the stomach the size of a melon, you want to make it the size of a tennis ball. If you tell someone that, what happens is they do it in their imagination, and they signal satiety to signal fullness. So people suddenly feel full, they don't feel like they're missing out, even though they've left half the food on their plate.
So when Paul first told me about this, I'm a little skeptical. I suspect some of you are as well. So we decided to test this power of hypnosis on 3 women. And these reviewers were the first ones that we're aware of, in our country anyway, to check its effects out. And it has never been shown on television, but here's their story.
I really want to lose weight, but I love my food.
I'm eating all the wrong foods in large portions.
Whenever I have a plate of mac and cheese and fried chicken in front of me, I eat the whole thing.
I'm hoping that this hypnosis works, because if it does, I'll be struggling a new body in 2012.
Make sure you're comfortable, sitting or lying down in a place where you can safely relax for about half an hour. Imagine how it will be as you eat small, delicious meals. You'll find more strength as you feel the hypnotic gastric band.
I'm supposed to eat consciously and chew my food thoroughly, and if I have to, in between bites, to sit on my hands.
Now, he said to chew my food 20 times. Takes a little longer, but that way I am able to enjoy my food.
This technique is working. I'm excited.
And as you can see, I couldn't eat the whole thing.
Let's meet Angela, Bridget, and Desiree. Welcome all to the show. So, Angela, it's been 5 days since you started the experiment. What do you think so far? Is it working?
Oh, yes, Dr. Oz. It is definitely working. And I'm ashamed to say that I usually drink about 3 to 4 bottles of soda.
You do?
Yeah, I do. But I'm down to 1.
You have, and what caused you to stop or slow down?
Just haven't had the desire for it. And whenever I'm eating what I have eaten before, I usually finish everything on my plate. I'm able to leave things on the plate and walk away and not feel deprived.
But are you stopping because you're nauseated or because you just don't crave the food?
Just don't crave the food. I'm not hungry.
Okay. And Bridget, how are your experiences compared to Angela's?
Pretty much the same. I went out to dinner for my anniversary, and I couldn't eat maybe a third of the meal, and I was full. And that was it.
That's unique for you, I gather.
Very unique.
And again, any nausea, any discomfort?
I feel a little pain sometimes in my stomach, like I'm full, or that it's tight.
Paul, does that surprise you at all that someone would have? I'm asking you about nausea and pain because that's what people who have gastric banding procedures have. And I'm curious if it's gone that far as well.
Yes, sure. If you were imagining it vividly enough, you might get some of the side effects as well. I mean, obviously not to the point they'd be distressed, but, you know, it wouldn't surprise me if in fact, when I talked with all three ladies, yes, they said that they'd had some of those effects.
And Desiree, when you sit down and start to have a meal, what do you notice has changed?
One for me is the nausea. Like, I could get 25% of the food down, and then I'm nauseated. I feel like something came over me, and I need to just get away from the table. I even emailed Paul to ask, was that normal? Because I'm like, this is crazy. I eat 25%, and then all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, God, my stomach, I feel like I got to just let go.
That's remarkable. So from hypnosis alone, you haven't done anything else, and you're finding that you're getting the same kind of nausea as someone who might have had the actual operation would get if they overate?
Yes.
Huh. So, Paul, do you think that these three wonderful women are going to have benefits from this hypnosis for a long period?
I think they will. I mean, some people need to reinforce it. You know, some people need to do it again and again, and then other people, you know, one or two goes and they're fixed because everybody's different. You know, this is a fairly new procedure, so we know that hypnosis for weight loss works, not for everyone, but for most people. This procedure is real new, as you said. It's the first time it's been done on American television, and so we'll have to see what the long-term effects are.
In general, does hypnosis wear off? I mean, these three wonderful women that we hypnotized to close their eyes and raise their hands.
Oh, yes, they'll be back to normal because I've removed all the suggestions. But if you think about it, I mean, you know, we all receive suggestions all day long. You know, when we're a kid, we're told our name. We never forget that. You know, that's a suggestion, if you like, you know. So some suggestions stay with us forever.
And for all three of you, are you happy with the hypnosis that you've had? Was it worth it, the time you invested to get the hypnosis?
Oh, yes, because I've tried everything. Nothing has worked for me.
And I know it's only 5 days, but weight loss at all?
A couple pounds for me.
Couple pounds?
About 7.
About 7 pounds?
Yes.
I think 3 or 4.
Well, I'm just making a rough number up here, but if you guys can lose, 10, 15 pounds in 5 days, I'm in. I'm in. All right, Paul has another secret weapon in the war on weight loss. He says they can help speed up your metabolism. Think about that. You fight with it all the time. He's going to show you exactly how. So get ready. Up next, Paul will hypnotize the entire audience and you at home as well. Pay attention. We're back with world-renowned hypnotist Paul McKenna, who says hypnosis is not just your secret weapon to lose weight. It can also help you keep the weight off. Keep the weight off. Now, Paul, this is a big struggle for a lot of people. How can hypnosis help there?
Well, because it's different to, say, traditional dieting. Dieting's obsessed with the external, this portion size, or that type of food is good and that type is bad. I'm more concerned with the internal. You know, am I really hungry, or do I just want to change the way I feel? Because a lot of people these days, you know, change their feelings with food. And so what I'm doing is I'm helping people to change on the inside, and when they change on the inside, they change their behaviors on the outside.
All right, so Paul's going to use hypnosis to jumpstart your metabolism. He uses his techniques on not just the people in audiences like this, but he'll be able to use it on you at home as well. But before I do that, I'm going to ask Paul to share a story with us, because his program changed the life of one woman who, like so many of you, she was struggling to maintain the weight loss until she heard about Paul's approach. This is what Manjeet looked like at her heaviest. This is she at 371 pounds. And Manjeet is in the audience today. Hi, Manjeet. Come stand. How are you?
Hello, Doctor.
How are you?
Thank you.
Did you hear the gasp of the audience?
I did, yes.
No one could even imagine it was you sitting in their midst. So you lost 200 pounds, is that right?
That's right, yes.
And how long have you kept it off for?
It'll be 7 years now.
7 years?
Yeah, with a little effort.
Now, talk to me about that effort a little bit. How'd you do it?
It's quite a very good question, actually. I mean, I'm a rocket scientist, but one of the worst stigmas you come across being overweight and having a weight problem is people think that, oh, it's as simple as eat less, exercise more. I've always been an emotional eater, and I'd tried every single pill, potion you could possibly think of, every diet on the market I'd tried. And just to explain how robust this process is, 2 years ago I was in a horrific car accident with my husband, and unfortunately I lost him.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So if anything was going to knock me off the rails, it would have been that, and the weight loss is maintained through that whole process.
Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you. Thank Hey, you sit down. I'm going to sit next to Manjit over here. Here's what's going to do. I'm going to turn the show over to Paul. Paul's going to use his techniques that everyone here in the audience, but also for everybody at home. Paul, take it away.
Okay, thank you. So we are going to do a technique to speed up metabolism. Who here thinks they have a slow metabolism? Anybody believe that? Okay, now, the good news is metabolism is not fixed. What will slow your metabolism is starving yourself. I know people who excessively diet starve themselves and they slow metabolism. So feeding yourself when you're truly hungry will speed it up. And the other thing that does is taking exercise. Now, who here doesn't take any exercise? Yeah? What, so you were carried in here today? You didn't walk in? So any movement of your body at all counts as exercise. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to link feelings of pleasure to the idea of exercise. Just as Pavlov's dogs, you know, the famous Russian scientist did, feed the dogs, ring the bell, feed the dogs, ring the bell, feed the dogs, ring the bell. We are going to do the same thing. We're going to think about pleasurable activity and squeeze our thumb and middle finger together on our hand. So what I'd like you to do is think about something you really like doing. It might be hanging out with your friends. It might be your favorite hobby. It might be something more personal. But think about something that gives you great pleasure. And if you want to, close your eyes and think about that now. Imagine doing that activity that brings you pleasure and see what you see, hear what you hear, and feel how good you feel. Now, what I want you to do is think about taking that pleasurable feeling and taking it to regular, appropriate exercise. So walking a bit more, because if you walk a minute more, then 2 minutes more, then 3 minutes more, 4 minutes more, etc., etc., it builds up, becomes easier to walk than not walk. Just link the idea of pleasure, that's right, to the idea of any kind of exercise, moving your body at all, particularly to walking. Then open your eyes, come on back out. Okay, who feels good right now? Yeah, thank you very much.
That's it?
That's it.
The metabolism's going up?
Yeah, absolutely. So what will happen is the next time that, you know, you're faced with the opportunity of, say, you know, parking the car closer to the door, you know, driving around the shopping mall, or taking the stairs instead of the elevator, you're more likely to take that choice, which will involve walking or some form of moving. I mean, any kind of movement, sitting here twiddling your thumbs, is using energy. This is speeding up metabolism.
Remarkable. I hope you guys keep active now. That's wonderful advice. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it very much.
Great to see you guys.